It's now time for the morning show on XL7-TV.
Welcome to the morning show on XL7-TV. I'm Bob Richtenwald. This is Scooter. Whoop, whoop. Scott Callies.
How are you today, sir?
Well, you know.
So how was your weekend?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all right. That
When
went
is it
well.
coming?
All right, let's move up. No.
When's it coming?
You went right through it. Didn't even
When
look.
will the weekend be here? Because there was no weekend this weekend.
You went right through it and didn't even blink.
Buzzed right on through. Yep, had no idea.
Were you able to get a lot of mowing done with the weather and everything?
Yeah, you know, Saturday kind of stunk some.
Yeah. Yeah.
No mowing until noon, and then what you did get to mow on Saturday, because it was so stinking wet, you had to be very careful.
Be limited to locations.
We did mow the TV station, though, by golly.
All right. We got our grass mowed.
And
Woo-hoo.
what's really funny is I had just mowed it last Tuesday,
Jeez.
and I ended up mowing it again on Saturday.
I can see that. I mean, with the rain, and then if you get just a little bit of sun right after that rain,
There it goes.
it's like lightning.
Yep. How about your weekend?
It was long.
Long and busy.
Yes, mine started Thursday. I headed out with a big truck and went to Memphis and loaded up all my daughter's stuff.
The gnome is getting a new home.
The gnome is getting and they got a nice house. They're over in Springdale, right before you get into Springdale. So it's kind of nice. You don't have to deal with the traffic. It's just on 412, right before you get Springdale. Turn down their road. It's awesome.
Left or right?
Left.
Turn left.
Brand new subdivision they're building down in there. And it's kind of funny because most of them are one-story homes, and they got a two-story. So as soon as you turn, you can see which house is theirs is taller than all the others around it. But really nice neighborhood, really nice house.
Is it in the area of the Don Tyson School of Innovation?
Yes, it's actually just a couple blocks down.
A couple blocks down. On the left then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Been by there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. It's because we drove up and looked at the building, and we were curious what that was, and it was the John Tyson School of Innovation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So went by there. We also went and looked at another building that was over there, and that was for I think it was for some delinquent minors that get put into a thing. So nevertheless, it was a nice building.
Not the place for the gnome.
Not the place for the gnome, no. But a really nice area that they moved to. It's a big house. It's a 4-bedroom house, and you got 3 bedrooms upstairs and the master bedrooms downstairs.
It's amazing how spread out Springdale really is if you look at it.
Yeah.
They've been very aggressive on their annexation over there, and it's just amazing how many miles Springdale covers.
And it's amazing. I mean, as fast as they can build the homes, they're building hundreds at a time, and just people are just moving. It's amazing how many people are flocking to that area still.
Mm-hmm. It's just crazy.
It is nuts, but we did get them moved in, thank God. Got some projects done for them to get the house ready for them and stuff like that. Put their electric garage door opener in and stuff like that.
That didn't come with the home?
The electric garage door opener does not, believe it or not.
That's nuts.
I know. I'm with you. But they ended up with a lot of free upgrades that were really, really cool when they were talking to them, just because they ended up getting an extra. So they have all granite, everything. They have, they gave them top of the line, so it's pretty cool.
But not a $149 garage door opener.
Nope. And Scooter had to go and install that.
I think I'd protest. I wouldn't close. Not closing. Get my garage door opener in.
But, yeah. That and the other thing that they ended up, when they were at this other house, they changed a lot of lights out to ceiling fans. So they had all these ceiling fans. So they didn't have them install any of the ceiling fans. So they used the ones they had, moved them over. So we put them up and got them done. And so every bedroom's got a ceiling fan instead of just a light type of thing.
And I bet they're excited to be out of the Memphis area.
Yeah. Yeah, they're excited to be out of there. They're, like I said, they're in a lot bigger home. Lila will have a lot more room to run around.
They'll actually have a yard.
Yes, and it's kind of weird because their garage is in the back of the house, and it splits the yard. So you got like 2 yards. You got a right yard and a left yard, which works out because one yard will be used for the dog, and then the other yard that she can play in.
Uh-huh. A poop-free zone.
That's their thoughts.
There you go.
But it's very unique. It is the first I've ever seen, because it did look a little different when the whole neighborhood, there's no softener fascia on the houses. So they don't have that 2-foot overhang. They're just kind of flush, trimmed out, and boxed out, and that's it. And the whole neighborhood's that way. And it's when you're used to seeing a house or things a certain way, it looks a little different.
No, it would look a lot different.
Mm-hmm. It does. But every house in there, it's like that. It's just weird. I was like, where's the softening fascia? Where's the overhang that makes it look like a house? But I don't know.
No, it's a box.
Yeah, from the outside, it kind of looks that way. The inside, I mean, it is beautiful. Like I said, they put high-end everything in, and I mean, it is really a nice house. It seemed to be really well built. So,
except for the parts they forgot.
Such as the opener.
the softened fascia.
I find that weird, but that's
a new engineering design, huh?
I guess a way to save money. I will say this, being in construction, softening fascia is not a cheap thing to put on a house. And I know you're only extending it a couple feet, but all the little trim and all the little pieces you got to, I mean, it's a time-consuming thing to put on a house. But you're used to seeing that. And I don't know, just the way I guess they cut costs, I guess. Like anything else.
Well, it's still not very cheap, I'm sure.
No.
No. It's time for the morning prayer, brought to you by Hospice of the Ozarks. 870-508-1771 is their number. Greg Wood and the staff do a wonderful job. I hear they had a great gala. The Kentucky Derby themed gala they had fundraiser on Saturday night. I heard it was a great success, and that's great for Hospice of the Ozarks. If you have any questions about Hospice of the Ozarks and what hospice care is, pick up your phone, give them a call, 870-508-1771, and now the morning prayer. Lord, just thank you for the day that you've given us, Lord. We just thank you for keeping us safe against the severe weather that's been in our area for the last several months. Lord, we just pray that you will continue to lead, guide, and direct us and keep us safe. Lord, we just pray for our troops that are fighting in conflicts overseas. Lord, we just pray that you bring them back home soon and safely. Lord, we just pray for the state of California and all the confusion and all the things that are going on out there. Lord, we just pray that the governor there will get a grip on this and get some resemblance of orderly conduct instead of disorderly conduct go back on in California. Lord, we just pray for those that are hurting. And Lord, we pray for those that are sick. And it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
The morning prayer brought to you by Hospice of the Ozarks, 870-508-1771. We'll be back after a quick word from Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team of Century 21 Lemac Realty.
Hi, I'm Bob Zadora, the Z Team. I'd like to share something with you. Our team didn't need to reach everyone to be considered successful. We only needed the power of one. One person who was delighted with the way they were treated, helping them to reach their real estate goals. One person who told another person who told another, and so on. So if you're ready to buy or sell real estate, the Z Team would like to be your one. Give us a call, 870-405-0793, Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for lake levels, dam reports, and all the weather updates brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team, Century 21 Lemac Realty. 870-405-0793 is their number. retiredtoarkansas.net is their website. If you go there, click on live views. This is what you see today.
A lot clearer than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we had it looked like a frosted donut there Friday with all the fog that followed just the river. Yeah. Today it's definitely clearer. What you're looking at is the beautiful White River that separates Marion County, Arkansas from Baxter County, Arkansas. The city of Cotter is there straight ahead. The Rainbow Bridge, the Trellis Bridge for the railroad tracks is behind it to your left. And at the foot of the Rainbow Bridge would be Big Spring Park with the rope swing going into the Chili River.
Yeah, it's chilly.
Chilly.
It's chilly. I've been in the river. I haven't been into the big spring. I hadn't done the river spring, but I've been into the water. Let me tell you, it is cold.
A friend of mine told me that the water temperature at Lake Norfolk was 77 the other day. I guarantee you it's probably 57 coming out of the big spring.
Oh, yeah. I forget. I used to know the temperature, and I can't even remember. They used
Cold.
to talk about the temperature of that water coming down through there.
If the temperature could be cold, it's cold.
There you go.
Yeah. Looking off in the distance, straight ahead is the state of Missouri. Over to your far right would be the city of Mountain Home. In front of that is the city of Gassville. If you could look around the bend to your left, be the city of Bull Shoals. This is what we call God's country. If you'd like to see what's available for sale here in God's country, go to retiredarkansas.net, click on MLS listings, see what's available there, and pick up your phone, give them a call, 870-405-0793. Let them know you're interested in taking a look. That's a pretty good shot right there, Scooter.
Mm-hmm.
And the fog.
Got a little smoke on the water.
A little smoky on the water. Going to run through some temperatures as the radar goes back to updating again. Currently in Mountain Home at 66, Harrison at 64, Batesville 72, Yellville at 68, Marshall 66, Salem 64, Mountain View 68, Calico Rock 70, West Plains, Missouri 63, Springfield, Missouri 61, Poplar Bluff, Missouri 66, and St. Louis, Missouri is 64. Let's take a look at the radar if I can get it to start back up. We'll let it catch up here. As you can see, there's some heavy rains getting ready to hit Dallas, Texas. Some rains have gone through Louisiana. They're up into Mississippi. They'll be dissipated out of there into Alabama after lunch today. A little bit of rain showers came through here between 5 and 6 this morning. They're pretty much dissipated and gone from here now. Not expected to see any rain throughout today, which is a good thing for those of us that like to try to work out in it. Some heavy rains going through Nashville up into Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana. Wisconsin's got some rains as well. Heavy rains going through Ontario, Canada. We're going to zoom into the great state of Arkansas. And as you can see, about lunchtime, most of the rain will be gone completely out of the state. But right now, there's some heavy clouds going through, but it's going to clear up, be nice. So if you're traveling Arkansas today, look for the wet spots, but I think you're going to be in pretty good shape. On the national scene, just the residual flood advisories that's going on across the state because of all the rain that we've had. Heat advisory going on up in Washington State, some in Oregon, some in Idaho, and some in the northern portion of California. And some fog advisories, brisk wind advisories going on in Texas and Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas is all clear. And the 7-day forecast looks like this. High today of 82. I think the thunderstorms they're talking about have already passed. Mostly clear tonight, low of 57. High tomorrow, 84, with a low of 62 tomorrow night. Wednesday is going to be 87 and sunny with a low of 66. Thursday with a chance of rain, high of 85. Chance of rain Thursday night, low of 68. High next Friday will be 84 with a chance of rain. And then Saturday, possible thunderstorm or two. Chance of rain is 70%, high of 84 degrees. Sunday is going to be 85 with a chance of rain. Go figure, might be a chance of rain next week. Pollen and allergy, no tree pollen today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. Grass is very high, very high, very high, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and no ragweed to speak of. Lake levels and dam reports. Lake Norfolk, 576.70, which is 24.70 above full pool of 552. And there is one generator going and a spillway gate open as well.
And we've matched 220 or 2020. That's the top line there. Mm-hmm. So it has not been that high since 2020.
Yep, that's for sure. Bull Shoals, 692.01. I think that's the highest I've seen it in an awfully long time, at least since 2020 when it was above that, up to 695. That's 33.01 feet above full pool of 659. currently generating with 5 generators at this time. That's the lake levels, dam reports, and all the updates brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty. 870-405-0793 is their number. These are realtors you can recommend to your friends. They're busy, but never too busy to assist you. Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team. We'll be back in just a bit.
Your senior healthcare specialist is VACO Insurance in Mountain Home. Retired law enforcement and disabled veteran owner Frank VACO and staff can help you with all your insurance needs. VACO Insurance provides coverage for most carriers in the area, such as Medicare, Affordable Care Act, individual, or any other health or life insurance options. With over 13 years experience and agents in multiple areas and locations throughout northern Arkansas and southern Missouri, VACO Insurance is the right choice to handle all your insurance needs. That's VACO Insurance, located in Mountain Home.
For all things glass, contact the professionals at Clear Results Glass in Mountain Home. Whether you're needing a rock chip repair or a full windshield replacement, Clear Results Glass can take care of all of your automotive glass needs with fast turnarounds at competitive prices. They service business and residential customers and can custom cut any glass or provide you with the right fit for your home windows, sliding doors, commercial glass, or even a frameless shower enclosure. Contact Clear Results Glass today for a quote or to schedule your next glass project. That's Clear Results Glass, located in Mountain Home.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
At Hospice of the Ozarks, our purpose is you, not just your illness. We offer a compassionate plan of care that respects your dignity and honors your wishes with countless services and groundbreaking programs. We are committed to improving the quality of life for both you and your family. We provide care and support in the comfort of wherever you call home, but we also have the area's only hospice house when needed. As the only local not-for-profit hospice, we will never turn away a patient regardless of their ability to pay. Learn more at hospiceoftheozarks.org.
Oh, honey, we've had such a wonderful vacation here in the Ozarks. I really hate to go home.
I know. The lakes, the rivers, they've all been great for fishing. Oh, and the boating and the swimming.
And the people are so nice in the stores and restaurants.
Let's call an agent and see if we can make Mountain Home our new home.
Call the Z-Team, 870-405-0793. Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East Mountain Home.
870-405-0793. Hello, Z-Team?
When the acres add up, so does the work. The Kubota LO2 Series is ready for it. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience, it features powerful, dependable Kubota diesel engines, performance-matched attachments, and the versatility to get the job done right.
For all your Kubota needs, visit Ozarks Farm and Lawn in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for community news and happenings brought to you by Ozarks Farm and Lawn, the dealership that deals. Highway 62 Southwest at Buford Road, 870-425-3434. They got some stuff out there.
I drove by there coming and going. And yeah, they have got that parking lot packed. I like the orange trailers though.
Yeah.
I do.
The tilt beds?
Yes.
With the little landing deck in the front?
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
It'd be nice. Yeah.
Be hard to use on mowers, but for a big tractor,
We should buy us one of those.
Yeah, I can get Gil's checkbook and just write a check.
We need a community trailer.
There you go, company trailer.
Company trailer. There you go.
But yeah, they have a huge line of tractors and the construction equipment, and just one end to the other. It looks cool.
Big sales department service.
Parts.
Now's the time to get your hay equipment fixed that you broke earlier this month.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see that big tree stump that was there from the last storm.
It happens.
It does happen. Yeah, it does. Trust me, it does happen. Yeah.
It does happen. But they'll get you taken care of.
Yep, they've got all kinds of folks out there. Be glad to help you for sure. Let's see what we got going on, Scooter. Twin Lakes Playhouse has got a production of Laura going on this weekend, the 14th and the 15th. There's 2 shows on Saturday, 2 and 7, and then 1 show on the 15th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. $15 are the tickets. For more information, give them a call, 870-44-0444. The Military Service Sisters will meet tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at the grill at Whispering Woods down in Jordan. That should be a good time. Definitely be a good meal. Tonight is the Monday dinner at the Post, and I'm talking about the Alley White Post 52 American Legion. They're serving from 4 to 6 cashew chicken stir fry. Menu includes cashew chicken stir fry, rice, oriental vegetables, egg roll, dessert, drink, $10 for adults, $5 for kids, 5 through 12. Kids under 5 eat free, dine in, takeout. There is a class being put on by Lieutenant Lacey Holland from the Mountain Home PD. It's Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events, which is CRAZE. It's now open to the public at the new police department and at their new location. There's 2 classes tomorrow at 2, 1 at 2 and 1 at 5:30. All are welcome to attend. Learn life-saving information provided by certified instructors through the ALERT, Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Team, or Response Training platform on how to survive an active killer event, supported by the world's top enforcement agencies, regarded as the United States national standard. This information goes far beyond what's seen in the movies. Practical information for real events. Contact Lacey Holland or the Mountain Home PD today to secure your spot. And let's go to the other little flyer that I've got for that. And that will be held today. Can't get my phone to cooperate. You can get a hold of Lieutenant Holland at 870-232-5106 or the Mountain Home PD at 870-425-6336. Active shooter. The new address for the new PD is 650 South Street, and it's at 2 and 5:30. They encourage all business organizations, church groups. They're encouraged and welcome to attend. So that'd be a good time. You got anything you want to go over, Scooter?
I really don't.
I don't either. Looks like we've had a number of new businesses apply for business license in May, 16 new ones.
That's always good.
9 of them are home-based, so there you go.
It's always a good thing.
Let's take us a quick break. We'll come back with the Monday morning sports update in just a moment.
I'll be right back. When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as it would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite, climate-controlled, and air-filtered boarding facility in the area, with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
Providing caring, compassionate services at an affordable price is our goal at Connor Family Funeral Home. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that treats our friends and neighbors just like family, with a wide range of services and options to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area. Connor Family addresses all the details with no hidden fees, so you can rest assured that you are treated like family for a more personalized and worry-free service. That's Connor Family Funeral Home, where compassion and affordability meet, located in Mountain Home.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the Mountain Home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
It's a liquidation.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for the Monday morning sports update. The Mallet Family Foundation camp will begin tomorrow. Let's see what the times that will be. From 9 to 11:30. Coach Steve Airy will be hosting that. It should be a good time had by one and all. There'll only be 2 sessions. This is the second season for that, so it'd be a good time. Had by one and all them youngsters. Mountain Home Scooter had they participated in a camp last week. They have some more camps coming up this week.
Yeah.
A pretty gnarly looking bunch of fellas in the picture there.
Gnarly looking.
Gnarly
all
looking.
Right.
The McLeod American Legion baseball team will head over to Batesville for a matchup tonight. Be a doubleheader starting at 5:30. Second game is scheduled to start at 8. McLeod currently is 3-4 on the season. The locker room team was up in Branson. They ended up winning 5 games at that College of the Ozark tournament and ended up having a pretty good start for their season as well. They will host, Harrison will host the locker room tonight. They'll be going over to Harrison to play. Let's see, I believe the Mountain Home locker room team is currently 12-2. Game time for tonight's matchup is 5:30. They're off to a pretty good start.
Awesome.
Arkansas will be going on to the College World Series after beating Tennessee sizably yesterday. I think that ball game score was like 14-2. So it's pretty wild there. Kayaking classes will be offered at the Mountain Home Parks and Recreation. Do you know much about the kayaking class?
I don't, to be honest with you. I know they did it last year, and it was a big success. And they're kind of upping it this year. I think they got a little bit more to do and stuff so they can up the groups. So it's really a good idea. It's a great thing.
Registrations have opened for the fall sports for soccer and volleyball. Registration will be from June 6th and August the 8th. All kinds of different sporting events going on there. Get a hold of the Youth Center. Enoch Pippin is your contact there, 870-424-9311. And let's see what else we got that we want to talk about. Probably not much more. That's the Monday. School's out, so there's not a whole lot of sports to talk about. So that's the Monday morning sports update. And we'll be back in just a moment. We've got Coach Steve Jones, athletic director from Yellville. He's going to introduce us to a new basketball coach they've hired on for over there. We'll be back in just a bit.
Even on the most perfect day, the unexpected can happen. But with just one call to their local Red Ribbon expert at Overhead Door, they can get their garage door fixed or replaced in a jiffy.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home. Experience the best in Mexican dining. Letty's in Gassville. Voted numerous times as the best Mexican restaurant in the Twin Lakes area. Come out for delicious breakfast served all day. Or enjoy an authentic Mexican lunch or dinner. $1.49 tacos on Thursday. 10% discount for seniors every day. No time? Call Letty's and have your to-go order waiting for you. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties, weddings, holidays, or big events. The best Mexican restaurant in the Twin Lakes area. Letty's in Gassville.
Well, folks, have you been trout fishing before?
Not since I was a little kid.
You'll do fine. Hey, what are you doing?
Aren't you coming along?
See you downriver.
How do you start this motor? I've never been in a boat before.
See you downriver.
Well, folks, have you sold a house before?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, you'll be okay then.
You sure?
Where are you going?
See you at the closing.
Hey!
At the closing.
We should have called the Z team.
It's a
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for Monday Morning Sports. Coach Steve Jones is athletic director for Yellville Summit, and he's got the new boys basketball coach, Mr. David Ballard. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Coach Ballard, welcome.
Good to be here.
We're glad to have you. This will be a new home away from home for you.
Yeah.
I understand you're from Greene County Tech.
Yeah, well, that's where I've been coaching. I'm actually from Brooklyn, Arkansas.
We won't hold that against you.
Yeah, please don't. It's kind of into Jonesboro and Paragould there, and then my wife's from Mountain Home, and she's been wanting to get back to this area, and I've always kind of wanted to live in this area. My dad's from Mammoth Spring, this Mammoth Spring area, and so I'm familiar with it, and I would go visit my grandparents, and I always just thought it was beautiful. So,
if you're from Brooklyn, how did you end up with Mountain Home Girl?
She played volleyball at Crowley's Ridge, and I played basketball at Crowley's Ridge.
Who did you marry?
Ashley Payette.
Okay.
And I wouldn't. She'll say that she'd be lifting weights, and I wouldn't leave her alone. Just messing with her and stuff, but don't believe that.
Don't believe that?
Yeah, don't believe that. She came on to me, but no, we met at Crowley's Ridge, and we went on a few dates and kind of hit it off, and it's just been good ever since. So.
Coach Jones, we need to have the wives on one day.
That's not an awful idea. Because it takes a special lady to be a coach's wife.
I'm telling you what, you're absolutely right.
It really does. My wife has the patience of Job, thank goodness.
Mine too. She's better than I deserve, 100%.
Got lucky, did you?
I did, very
Married
much
up.
so. I hope she doesn't wisen up anytime soon. So.
Well, you just keep talking the way you're talking, you might be in good shape for a while. Who's her parents?
Richard and Mary Ann Payette.
Okay. So she's got a track star or a cross country runner brother.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Who's done very, very well over at ASU.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you all the awards he's won, but I know he's broke a couple records, done some things there. He works hard at it. I know in the summers he'll be running 10 miles a day and things like that. And I've always said to him, "You're better than me. I could never do that."
Yeah. When was the last time you ran 10 miles?
That's a good question. I don't know if I've ran 10 miles at one time ever.
Ever?
Yeah.
Especially on purpose, right?
That's right.
If I'm running, I'm being chased.
That's right. You better look for get a gun because there's something big.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, you spent some time at Greene County Tech. How long were you over there?
I just finished up my third year there. So, and then before that, I interned at Jonesboro for my internship. One of the assistants there was my junior high coach at Brooklyn, and kind of got me hooked up. And when you do an internship, you actually are doing it for like the classroom, but he got me involved in the basketball side of it, and I went to every practice. I didn't go to every game, but I went to pretty much every game, and did help do some scouting with them, and they really were generous enough to let me kind of get behind the scenes at like player meetings and some parent meetings and stuff, and got to learn a lot there.
What level did you coach at Greene County Tech?
So I was head junior high and assistant high school. And so I was kind of, the way we did it there, we were kind of all involved with everything. Like sometimes, so high school and seventh grade practice were at the same time there, and so we would sometimes the seventh grade would go to high school and I would do seventh grade, and we just kind of all shared the load, and it really was a really great place to work. Coach Gio the Coach Gios were great, and I learned a lot from them, and I always tell him he kind of helped me kind of be comfortable taking the next step forward, being a head coach, and he kind of let me take my role as the junior high coach, kind of let me take the reins, and was always there to help me help him out and ask questions and things like that. He was a great mentor, for sure.
Beyond the fact that your wife is from Mountain Home and she wanted to get closer to mom and dad, what was the draw to Yellville?
So, like I said, I always kind of wanted to come to this area, and so I would always watch teams and think, a big thing for me is I want tough kids that play hard and stuff. And one thing that attracted me, I would watch these teams, on YouTube or whatever. You can find those things, and I always thought the kids played really hard. They were pretty tough, it seemed like, for the most part. And I've just always heard pretty good things about Yellville just from people around. And so that's what kind of attracted me. And I want to go to a place that, the kids are grateful and things like that. And I can tell you so far the kids have been grateful. The kids have been great. And so that's kind of what attracted me is, I wanted kids that were willing to play hard and be tough, and I think that's what we got at Yellville. So.
Well, Coach Jones can tell you that's exactly what you've got.
Yeah,
You've got a bunch of student
so.
athletes that have to play multi-sports, so they just don't have those sports if they don't, because there's a limited number of student athletes over there. But you're walking into a good program that's got a pretty good history.
Absolutely.
So we welcome you here, and it should be a good time for you.
Yeah, I was telling my wife, I said, I'm glad because Coach Sims really did all the hard work for me. I just got to keep building on what the foundation he laid.
There you go. Just keep laying the bricks.
That's right.
Coach Jones, I know you're glad to have that position filled, and looking forward to that to come up.
Well, let me tell you, we searched high and low and cast a pretty wide net, and Coach Ballard, his resume was outstanding, which got him the interview, and he knocked it out of the park in the interview and references. I mean, just everything. But one thing I wanted to touch on, he mentioned something in his interview that really probably kind of, got all of us, and he mentioned toughness and defense, and just the way he was so passionate about playing some man-to-man, being mentally tough and able to handle stressful situations. The way you talked about that, I thought, this is our guy right here. Okay, this is the guy we want taking charge of our kids.
Coach Ballard, you're walking into a school that has a history of having support from the community that gets behind every sport over there. And you've got a superintendent of schools that is a sports fanatic, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, if we can just get him to expand some of those programs and get a new football stadium, we've got it. And maybe a track, right?
Both would be really nice. Yeah. Got to find somebody to write a check.
There you go. Need that big donor.
Yeah.
Those are hard to come by.
They are hard to come by, but we do. You mentioned the support. Within reason, there's nothing I've ever went to a member of the community or a business said we need this, and they've always found a way to provide it for us. Now, I haven't went saying we need $1.8 million, to build a football stadium and a track. But I have no doubts that if there were people that, if they had it, they'd be glad to give it.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of those things. But we are blessed to live in such an area and a community. And I know it's not just Yellville, but that's my hometown, so I'm going to be a little biased about it. I took Coach around a little bit and met a few people, and everybody was just, open arms and glad he's here and really, really welcoming, I felt like. And I've had nothing but from the two or three that got to meet him right away. I get calls that night, hey, we really like him. You did a good job. So, and that helps me. It makes my life easier when you have good people in the coaching system.
When will you start seeing your basketball players?
So I've been already working with them. Like we went to a camp right at the end of May at Berryville, and then we just got back from Harding camp last week, and then we'll go to Harrison team camp Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So I've been getting in there with them, and it's just kind of been like not necessarily about X's and O's right now, just them getting familiar with me and me getting familiar with them and trying to lay that groundwork to where we can get to the X's and O's, and I can really get to coaching them, and they respond to me in a positive way. And so it's just been kind of trying to develop those relationships there.
How's the reception been? It's
been pretty good so far. I think Harding camp was really good because we got 3 days together that we were all together, and we're not going anywhere else. We're all together. And so I think we really made a lot of leeway there. And, it's just, they're great kids. And it's just kind of been, I'm a new face. And, some things are different. Some things are the same. Some things are different. Not in a bad way. It's just, more than one way to do it. And it's just kind of been new to them. And I think that's kind of been the big thing for them. But they've been great. They've been receptive of me, and they're great kids. They really are good kids.
There's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah.
Well, and really, the rules are the same.
Yeah.
How they're applied may be a little bit different.
Right, correct.
And the fundamentals of basketball are fundamentals of basketball. Correct. And how they're received by the player is what will make the difference.
That's right.
And how you put them out there will be the hugest difference.
That's right.
I mean, basketball is basketball. The goal is to keep the other team from putting it in the net and make sure your team puts it in the net.
You want to have one more point than the other team.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how high the score is, as long as your team's got one more than the team that you're
Absolutely.
playing against. How about numbers? Do you look for your numbers to grow? Do you look for your numbers to stay about the same? Are there some kids that have been sitting back saying, well, I may or may not play?
Not in this. I haven't had anyone tell me, they may or may not play. Well, I take that back. There was one kid, I can't remember what they said his name was, that said he was thinking about playing, and I was like, have him come talk to me. Because I would like to see the numbers grow, because the more people that are involved, it's just, better for the program, for the community. More people get involved in the program, and so I would like to see the numbers grow, and that's kind of a point of emphasis for me. And that starts at the lower levels, so that's going to be, from Pee-wees up, kind of something we got to build. So,
would you consider yourself a proactive or a reactive coach?
I'm more of a proactive coach, I would say. But I do like to try to find a balance. There's too much and too little, in my opinion, and so that's one thing that's kind of been a little different. I think is I'm kind of in the game, kind of coaching them and trying to move the pieces and stuff, and I think that's a little different for the kids. Like I said, not in a bad way. It's just how I like to do it, and so that's something I think they're having to get used to. And so I'm more of hands-on. I like to move the pieces together, and hopefully the goal is when we get going that I don't necessarily have to do as much as that, but I won't be able to help myself. So that I'm definitely proactive.
Are you a coach that waits for the student athlete to come to you, or you go to them?
I would go to them. There are things like like as far as getting extra shots up, I want them to want to do that. So I'd want them to come to me. But like as far as maybe working on some, something they need to work on skill-wise or whatever, I would go to them and want to work with them on that.
You got a 6'3", 6'4" person walking through the hallways that's never picked up a basketball. You going to talk to him?
Yeah, I'll go buy the shoes for them. Absolutely.
And that's a kind of a silly question, but there's a lot of talent walking through the hallways that nobody's ever given a second thought to. Not just at Yellville, I'm saying in schools in general. Not a student athlete, just a student has never had the opportunity to play a sport, whether it's basketball or football or volleyball for the girls, and nobody gives them a second thought.
I want to address that if you don't care.
Sure, absolutely.
I really think that's something we do a great job of. The percentage of students at Yellville that are involved in at least one sport is like 70% or something like. It's crazy. But I know we just hired Coach McCarthy last year. The first thing he did was go up and down the halls, knocking on doors, meeting kids, and trying to get kids out for football. And personality-wise, I know that Coach Ballard's going to be that way too, and getting kids out. Our track coaches recruit, our baseball coaches recruit, and it may be in a skilled sport. If you're in high school and you hadn't played, you're going to be a little behind. But I'll use football for an example. If you're not afraid to be a little physical, they'll find a place for you to play. And you don't have to be a great athlete. You can be the 5'9" kid who's that big around also, and there's still a place to play. That's just one thing I think we do a really good job of. There's not many non-athletes walking the hallway.
But you'd have to admit that that's more the exception and not the rule.
Probably. I think that's probably been something that's changed over the last maybe 8 or 9 years at Yellville, that we really started doing that.
Sure.
And then there's, every coach is different. Some coaches will do that, and others are like, and I don't think there's a right or wrong here. If they don't want to play, I'm not going to go beg them to. I get that also. I don't believe in begging kids to play. But I do believe in presenting the opportunity. Come try.
That's the important part.
Yes. And if they don't want to come try it, that's fine. We're not going to hound you about it.
Make them feel a little bit welcome.
Sure. There's a lot of kids that are, scared to try a sport because they've never done it. And like you said, one of my favorite. Do we have time? Are we fixing to go to break?
We should already be at break. So let's go ahead and take a break and we'll come back real quick. It's time for a quick break. You're watching The Morning Show on XL7-TV.
Liquidation closeout at Sleep Mart. All 2024 Flex Steel recliners now 50 to 70% off retail. Plus, Sleep Mart will pay the tax on all non-clearance sale items. Hurry to Sleep Mart for the liquidation closeout today at 701 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home.
When the acres add up, so does the work. The Kubota LO2 series is ready for it. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience, it features powerful, dependable Kubota diesel engines, performance-matched attachments, and the versatility to get the job done right.
For all your Kubota needs, visit Ozarks Farm and Lawn in Mountain Home.
If you're looking for something wonderful and delicious, then head on over to Paradise Cream for a homemade ice cream experience. With over 20 flavors to choose from, like German chocolate cake or sea salt caramel, it's always homemade and delicious. Paradise Cream has something for everyone and also carries dairy-free and vegan ice cream options. So whether you like it in a cup or in one of their homemade waffle cones, you're in for a wonderful dessert experience. Located at 1525 North Main Street in Harrison, right across from Pizza Hut and Castle Rental, or in Mountain Home next to Ramada Inn, because you're on your way to paradise.
Sleep Mart's liquidation closeout is on. All 2024 mattresses are 50 to 70% off retail, and we're paying the sales tax on all non-clearance sale items. Hurry to Sleep Mart at 701 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home for the liquidation closeout today.
Welcome back to The Morning Show on XL7-TV. Coach Steve Jones, Athletic Director for Yellville Summit, and the new basketball coach, David Ballard. Coach, you had a story you wanted to tell us about a student athlete?
Before we went to break, we were talking about kids in the hallway and some choosing not to play. And it reminded me of, and I love this story. I've used this a lot of times with kids that were, especially in junior high, kids struggling in sport, not doing very good. And when it comes time to move to high school, they don't want to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll use this young man's name. His name, Mike Jones, no relation, but this is several years ago. And in junior high, this kid was, 5'5", 105 pounds. And so we had him at a wide receiver in an offense that threw 2 passes a game, and he would drop both of those. If that's just the way it was. And anyway, between the freshman and sophomore year, he'd kind of decided he didn't want to play anymore. So as a coaching staff, we worked on him. Said, no, don't give up. Don't stop. You can't judge what's going to happen based. You still aren't who you're going to be yet.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, between his freshman and sophomore year, grew a couple inches, and we decided that he was better suited to defense than offense. Because he couldn't catch.
Right.
And then by the time he was a junior in high school, he'd stuck it out through his sophomore year. He became a starter at free safety and was pretty solid. And his senior year, he intercepted 5 passes and was an all-state free safety on a pretty good football team. And, we always joke that he could only catch it if it wasn't thrown to him. But he caught a couple. He didn't return them for touchdowns, but he would return them for good yardage because he was he grew up to be a 6'1", 185 pound, the prototype high school athlete, and just did a great job. And I always think back, what if we had let him go and not fought for him a little bit? We would have missed out on a great young man, but a good athlete also. And again, that's Coach Ballard addressed this in his interview, that you've got to keep junior high kids out, and he's going to do some work with Pee-wees. I can tell you, when a high school coach shows up to Pee-wee games and practice and stuff like that, you are a rock star. They want to show off for you because everybody's going to know who you are. In Yellville, Arkansas, they are. So anyway, that was one of the things that, again, he said that this is what we need to hear, what we're looking for, to go out and get those young kids and again, just keep it growing. So anyway, I just wanted to share that.
Outside of just being your coach, what classes will you teach?
I believe PE, correct?
I'm pretty sure that's right.
PE and health. So, okay. Which is a good thing. I don't necessarily need to be teaching anything else.
He's teaching basketball.
Yeah.
And you'll be involved in Pee-wee all the way up through
absolutely,
high school varsity.
Yes. I'm not necessarily, I don't know yet. I think we found some people to coach the Pee-wee teams, but I will be involved. I want to be involved in their practices and at their games and all that. I probably might sit on the end of the bench with them and just cheer them on and stuff, but I do want to be involved in their practices and kind of help lay the foundation, we want to build on through high school. So.
And you're sure your wife understands the role of a coach's wife?
She absolutely does. She absolutely does.
She's been around athletics a lot, even through her high school years, so she should be used to that.
And you've got how old is your son?
He's a little over a year old. My wife could tell you the exact month. Well, I don't know all that. He's a year old. So that's all I know.
Let's not dig him old. We can't.
Well, I hate it when somebody asks me when's my kid's birthday. I don't know. May. I got real tickled. We were having a little meet and greet with the coach, the first night, and his son put on a show. Now he kind of stole the show a little bit, but you could just tell this is a coaching family right here.
So you've got two somewhat new coaches. Your football coach is fairly new as well, with a young family. Mm-hmm. So you've got some young blood coming up through.
Very much. We have a very, very young staff, all top to bottom.
What else is going on in the coaches' world over in Yellville?
Well, I'm proud to say that right now, not a whole lot.
Summertime, not supposed to be.
Arranging camps and travel and that sort of thing, but it's a lot less stressful than when the school year gets started. So, this week we've got a football camp going on. Coach Ballard has a basketball camp at Harrison. There's some things like that going on. Then, we'll have that glorious 14 days of dead period where everything, you just catch your breath and recharge your batteries a little bit. And every coach in Arkansas will go to the Gulf Shores, Alabama. You'll see every one of them down there for that 2 weeks. And then come back and hit the ground running, getting everything set up for the fall.
Some coaches enjoy those 2 weeks, and some of them can't stand it.
Some can't stand it. You're absolutely right. I will fall on the side of enjoying it. What I don't enjoy is the beach. I go because my family wants to go, but it's sandy, it's salty, it's hot, it's jellyfish. There's nothing good about this.
When do you leave?
Well, we've actually already been. We went for Memorial Day. We went to the beach and had a good time, but it's just everything in the ocean wants to kill you. So that's sand gets everywhere.
When will your golf season start?
We'll start practicing later this month.
Right after the dead period?
Well, they'll probably have a meeting or two right before, but we'll start practicing as soon as dead period's over. And then we'll get, that actually will tee off before school starts. They'll start having some matches. And we're actually, our golf coach from last year resigned. We're in the middle of hiring a new one that won't be official till middle of until the board meeting this month, which is June 16th. We'll have that taken care of.
Yeah. Are you, you told me on an earlier show that we're not doing a tournament this year. for the golf team.
Right.
And, or a fundraiser.
Well, right. Well, we had one for several years there before we did one at the end of the school year, and it just got to be a little too overwhelming and with everything else going on, so we bypassed that.
What's your thoughts on multi-sport athletes?
I think it's great. For one, kids should play what they want to play, and if they want to play all of them, I think they should do that. And I think you'll find that a high-level athlete most likely played multiple sports. So I just think it makes you a more well-rounded, as far as being an athlete, I think it makes you a more well-rounded athlete. Like take football to basketball, for example. If you're playing football, you're probably going to be a pretty physical basketball player, and that's a good thing, and strong, and all that. But I think it's awesome. I think kids should have the opportunity to play absolutely whatever they want to play. And I think that, most kids, let's just be honest, they get one shot at it, and they should get opportunity to do all of them if they want. And so I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
You are coming to the home of the multi-sport athlete.
That's all right.
There are a lot of them over there because, like I said earlier, if you didn't have them, some of those sports wouldn't exist.
Absolutely. And I will say the football coaches have been great to work with so far. They were super welcoming to me, and we've scheduled around each other as much as we could. I think, actually, we've scheduled around each other the whole
100%.
Yeah, and so it's been really good, and I really look forward to working with them. They've been awesome. So I want to shout them out for that. They've been great.
Coach Jones, you mentioned that you've got football camp going on this week. Where is it at?
It's at Yellville Thursday, I think.
Are you having it at home?
Mm-hmm. Just I think it's a 7-on-7 camp.
I believe so.
Yeah. There's several of these things going on in June and July and so forth. Yes, Thursday. We were supposed to go to Hoxie Saturday for a 7-on-7 camp, but it just poured, and they called it off that morning, and so we didn't get to go to that. Got halfway over there. Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, turn the bus around. We're going home.
And if they had waited an hour, they could have had it in the afternoon.
Yes, I'm sure they could have, but you got to. It wasn't my call to make.
Right, you weren't the host.
No. So, and it's supposed to rain here Thursday, so we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's more difficult on a grass field. Rain presents a bigger problem than it does for turf.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think we'll cancel, but if it rains a lot, then you don't want to tear your field up in the middle of June.
Will Yellville be hosting any youth camps for basketball?
Yes, so there is one. I believe the dates are July 28th through the 30th. And Coach Allen, she's set it up, thankfully. I'm super thankful for her. And I couldn't tell you the exact times, but I know you can register and mail that to central office or bring it by central office. But July 28th through 30th, I believe, and you don't have to be from Yellville to come. We just want to spread basketball. So
we'll have you back on before then. We'll talk more in depth on it.
Awesome.
See who's all involved and what age groups and cost and all that good stuff. Okay. The point is, lots of good stuff going on in Yellville, and they can get out here and visit and participate in that.
Absolutely.
Coach Jones, anything you want to close up with in the next minute?
I think we've covered everything.
Well, we got another minute to burn here.
Well,
so
I can tell you about my
Tell us a good story. Tell me about your trip to wherever you went.
Well, I went to Montana to see, me and my best friend went to Montana to see one of our other best friends, and we got out there, and I don't know how this came up, but we all got into a contest who could plank the longest. I won, and since then I can't walk straight because my back is tied up in a knot. And I feel like it's going to spasm. It spasms all the time now. And that probably wasn't. Well, we get together, we're about 12.
Yeah, there you
go. So,
that's. You digress quite a bit very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah.
Guys, thank you all very much for joining us this morning. Look forward to seeing you again in the future. Coach Jones, we'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you all for being here. You watched the morning show on XL7-TV. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.